owns I can't remember the size of the parcel he owns now, 10 acres, I think, maybe. And he has a house on there and some other structures, and this was either going to be for his children or for him to downsize one or
So
the
that
other.
they could put two residences in your space without, but on separate lots.
Right.
Thank you.
I too was confused on this. What escalated this that it has to come before us? Usually a lot of these don't. I was just curious.
It was the rezoning portion of it, in order to get him down to the lot size that he, well, and I'll say that he wanted. He actually wanted a bigger one, but we couldn't. So it came down to the rezoning portion of it. If it would just been a straight lot split, you guys probably would have not seen it.
Okay.
But yeah, it was the rezoning that caused it.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
I want to thank you for working with our applicant, working. I know it's easy just to chase somebody away, say it doesn't work, but I appreciate the fact that you did work with him to
Thank you, sir.
find a solution. So, is there any other questions, concerns, comments? Seeing none, I have the clerk call the vote.
Shannon?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Reeves?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Motion passes.
On to item number 5, special use permit for AdTrend Incorporated Digital Billboard.
Evening again, Mark Lee, Community Development Director, here this evening for a special use permit to turn a billboard into a digital billboard. They're currently operating under a special use permit. All billboards within the city of Bonner Springs require a special use permit and are only allowed in industrial zoning districts. They received their special use permit for this billboard at the end of last year, have come forward since and asked to have it digitized. That is what is before you this evening. There is a representative here if you guys have any questions of them.
Okay. Would anybody from the public like to speak on this matter? Not seeing any. I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I will make a motion to approve special use permit SUP-02-24 to allow a digital display on a previously approved billboard.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Gurley, a second by Ms. Long. We will start right here with you, Ms. Blanks.
Just in the sake of transparency, on behalf of the chamber, I have had conversations with AdTrend. The main priority for us and then placing this in is to make sure that our businesses kind of get first dibs on this. So we've talked to our Downtown Forward group, and all of them said yes to being interested in splitting 8 slides is what we'll consecutively run. These are interchangeable in live time, which is great because you really get your money's worth. And Megan will be a part of, Megan is the economic development coordinator of the city, will be in charge of helping with that. And so, yeah, you can see on the attached documents, my name is signed to a letter on behalf of the chamber. There was no money exchange. For us, the main thing that we listed was there is a lot of events in Bonner happening all year round. Social media can only take us so far. So we've been having this conversation with them for about a year now to get this switched over to digital so we can give our community up-to-date information as we know it. And it's not just limited to our downtown businesses. It was just important that they get first dibs on that.
Thank you, Ms. Blanks. Ms. Long?
No questions.
Nothing here.
Mr. McBain?
What are the specs on this sign? Size?
20 feet tall. That I do know. As far as the size of the actual billboard, it is in the packet, but I cannot
It's like we're
recall.
staying on location. Maybe it was in here. I just didn't see it.
I believe there was some details in there about the
Page is in
sign.
here. Page 3, item 1A.
Let's see. I don't have that information. Oh, wait, there it is. Oh, no.
I didn't mean to
Oh,
put
there,
you on the
30
spot.
feet. 20 feet tall, the entire thing. The board itself is 10 feet tall by 30 feet tall. The entire structure's 30.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ms. Wood? Ms. Gurley?
Do these special use permits have an expiration date, or do they have to be
Not these.
reviewed at any time?
These do not. Some do. Some would carry forth, yes, timeframes.
Quick question, it looked like nobody spoke in opposed to it at the planning commission meeting. And I think you mentioned in there you saw no issue with those residents that live at that very north portion of 100, off of 142nd, 141st shouldn't be affected by the lights at all.
No, it'll actually be on the opposite side of an industrial property abutting State Avenue, so there's distance between them. The first time they came through, I got a call from a gentleman up there, and again, the second time, but he's told me both times he has no issues, he just wanted to be aware of where it was.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments, questions? Ms. Blanks? Oh, you turned on your mics, I didn't yet.
No, thank you.
If no more questions or comments, I will ask the clerk to record the vote.
Blanks?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Reeves?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, we're getting close to the end, everyone. The special use permit for Country Stampede Camping. Staff, I guess that's you again, Mr. Lee?
Yes, it is. Yes, sir. Good evening again. Mark Lee, Community Development Director. In front of you for this ordinance is a special use permit for the Country Stampede to allow, we'll say, larger than normal numbers of campers on private property that they do not own. There is letters of consent in your packets from both the UG as well as the Ag Hall of Fame. We've had, I don't want to say lengthy, but ongoing discussions to try and make this a welcomed event and a good event for the city. So we're still working through some of these and this is one of the first parts of it.
Thank you. Anything extra from the staff? I would entertain any comments from the citizens. Anybody would like to speak on this matter? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion. I fell asleep.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve a special use permit, SUP 01-24, allowing camping during the Country Stampede Music Festival.
I second.
We have a motion by Mr. Shannon and a second by Mr. McMahon. We will start down there with you, Mr. Shannon.
Nothing.
No, looks great.
Couple of things. Where are they gonna put all the cars that are being displaced by the RV park if they're expecting a sellout crowd 3 days in a row?
Those are other issues that we are working through.
So is this parking, or is this camping approval contingent on those discussions? If they can't figure that out, does the camping go away?
No. No, the special use permit would allow for the camping. It really has no other outside mechanism other than that. As far as the planning commission goes, it was a land use type decision was really all that they could weigh in on. And so that's kind of where it came down to.
How many parking spaces is that taking up? Do you know offhand?
Not off the top of my
Because they've
head.
assured us they sell out 17,000 each night of this event.
I know, just for the sake of the question Mark kind of alluded to, this is the land use question is coming up because of our ordinance, which our next item is about the ordinance specifically in terms of the time frame. I don't know if the applicant wants to talk about, there are some ongoing conversations occurring with the unified government and others about additional parking that would help to alleviate some of those concerns. Again, I don't want to put you on the spot, but, and while he's walking up, I do want to just mention there have been reoccurring meetings organized by the County Emergency Management for probably the last 3-4 months as well as internal conversations that have been going on with public safety groups and others evaluating concerns, potential concerns, and again, just proper planning. So those will continue. I think there's another meeting at the end of April now. But again, I'm just going to have you mention just your ongoing conversations.
Matt Tholen, Country Stampede. So we have been in active conversations with the county parks. The county park is going to be shut down during the week of the Country Stampede, but we have opened up conversations with Ag Hall of Fame, and they're open to potentially parking cars in other areas of their facility. So that's something that we're in the process of working with them on. And that's joint with us, with the New West management out there at Azura as well, so.
Okay. Related to that, since you're at the podium, I apologize, it's not exactly camping related, but it's sort of camping related. Has there been arrangements for added security for the Ag Hall, for the Renaissance Festival, for the townhouses that are under construction?
Yes, so if you read the report, we're gonna have roaming security along with off-duty police officers from Bonner Springs that are gonna be on 24-hour duty, so to make sure that everything's taken care of.
Wood?
I was incredulous at the details that it's being taken care of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. McMahon?
A lot of exciting things going on in Bonner Springs, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Blanks?
I'm going to touch base kind of off what Danny said. The gold parking is VIP, what a traditional VIP is, right?
So
That
the
parking lot?
portion of Gold Camping that we're using is in the VIP lot, but this actually didn't take away from what Azura has historically sold as VIP. They split that lot into two. They'll do rideshare pickup on a portion on a corner of it, and then they'll do VIP parking, approximately 300 to 350 spots, and then the rest of the lot would be general admission. So we're taking up about 400 spots for Gold Camping. That would have been just general admission parking.
And those are for 63 campers?
Correct. Well, 62 and a host, yeah.
So I see on there that security for that lot is 2, which is relatively fine for that number. But Silver Lot has 140 campsites, and it's still only 2 security?
So that's 2 roaming security, so that's just 2 people that are gonna be on a UTV in Silver that are gonna be driving around, checking out. That doesn't count the host that's gonna be there. There's 2 people on the host that'll be there. Typically a husband and wife or something along that matter that's there the whole time. At the entrance, coming off of 130th, there's gonna be a 24-hour person there as well, right next to the host stand. And then by each of the man gates that go up into the festival, up through from the south going up to the north, there'll be 2 people there as well. So technically, there'll be 2 roamers, and then there'll be 5 people inside the campsite as well.
What are the necessary steps if we want to have conversations of having additional roaming security? I mean, I could totally be off bounds, but 2 roaming security, let's say 140 campsites, and I'm assuming there'll be multiple people at each campsite. So that's 200, and let's just times it by 2, 280 people, give or take. Is that something that you guys would be willing to have the conversation about?
We certainly can. We based off of the 1,700 campsites that we had in Topeka whenever we were in there the last few years. We had 5 different camping areas. We had a rustic, we had a family camping, silver, gold, and a platinum camping. And each section had a set of roaming people in it. So we went from our old rustic section that had probably about 500 or 600 campsites. The majority of our camping out there was basically patrolled by a couple people and then a few off-duty police officers as well. So we just kept those same numbers and moved them over to here. Another note, after the Festival Bowl closes, 2 of those, where the man gate's at, those people are actually going to become roamers as well, so in the evenings, overnight.
Okay. just something for us to consider on the city's aspect of it, because we all love music festivals. I just know how those can go sometimes. And thank you for bringing this opportunity to Bonner. Also, for the sake of transparency, Matt and I have had great conversations on behalf of the chamber. They've invited some local businesses to be a part of Stampede, which is really exciting. So again, no money exchange, anything like that. They've joined the chamber, they've attended luncheons, they gave a presentation, and we were on the same page of what opportunities does this bring to our city besides the festival itself. So thank you.
Thank you.
No questions.
About the facility, how about trash pickup and so forth?
So we'll have a roll-off dumpster at each of the camp spots, and then per the way we've always done it, is the campers every morning and afternoon will set any trash that they have along the inner camp roads that'll be marked. And then our staff will go through, pick up the trash and dispose of it in the dumpsters.
Somebody be checking the campsites when the people are ready to leave so that make sure that everything's policed well?
Yes, so any area that we operate out of, whether it's campsite or any additional parking that we might have on the Ag Hall of Fame, we will return to its original status.
Are you providing any dump station or anything like that, or?
There is no dump stations. There'll be a mobile service through ORI. That's the Outdoor Restrooms Incorporated. That's the company that handles all the porta potties out there at Azura anyways. So they're going to be maintaining the porta potties and the hand washing stations that are in the campsites, along with offering a mobile dump service and freshwater fill service for a fee.
You might have some signage to that fact saying, no dumping in unauthorized areas.
Yeah, so the last page of our packet is the camp rules that each and every camper agrees to those before they're allowed to set up camp there. And in there, it does state that if they illegally dump their gray water or their black water, that they will be prosecuted and removed and never allowed back, so.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Thanks for asking those questions, Mr. Reeves, because those were questions I knew staff was concerned about waste and, unauthorized dumping from the RVs. So if there's no other questions, comments, concerns, I would call for a vote.
Voting on a motion to approve special use permit SUP 0124, allowing camping during the Country Stampede Music Festival. Wood?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Reeves?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Hip?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. On to item number 7 now. Ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinance to allow camping permits to extend the allowed permit length to 72 hours.
We didn't really decide who was going to take this item, but this is an amendment to the ordinance in part with Country Stampede to extend that time frame out. I'm not sure if Chris has anything to add to it, but it was typically 48 hours, and we've extended it another 24 to make it 72 in total.
The ordinance with the changes is included in the agenda, so you can see there's 2 spots where we change it.
Any of the citizens wish to speak on this matter? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to adopt an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the city, Chapter 12, Public Offenses, Article 3, Camping Permits, to extend the allowed permit length to 72 hours.
I second them.
Okay, we will start with, we'll go ahead and go down there with you, Mr. Reeves. We'll start with you.
No questions here.
No questions.
No questions.
No questions.
No questions.
Nothing.
I think you got off easy on this one. Then I will have the city clerk record the vote.
Long?
Yes.
Hip?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Reeves,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Lee, for all your handling of 4 items. Thank you. So on to item number 8. Award the bid for the 2024 annual mowing services. Thank you for sticking around, Mr. Beats.
Hey, most exciting item on tonight's agenda, right? Matt Beats, Deputy Director of Public Works. This tonight is the agreement with for our 2024 mowing services. This is roughly the 36 acres of the 100 that this Public Works Department is responsible for mowing. These would be a lot of the ones like the 15-acre cemetery is one of the items, or one of the locations. But like this building, the fire station, Center Park, a lot of those kind of areas around town that our Public Works Department used to mow. Back in, I believe it was about 2018, we had a group come in and they actually looked at like our utilization. They said our Public Works staff could be better utilized doing other work and we could contract this out. So since then, we've been contracting this work out. Lawn Force, who we're bringing to you tonight, has done it now for like the last 5 years. They provide a great service for us. We have never had any problem that we couldn't work out with them. And it's usually a phone call, hey, you missed this spot, or or something like that. So, and they've always taken care of it. That's about it, really.
Any citizens wish to comment on this item? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to award the bid for the 2024 annual mowing service to Law Force for an estimated cost of $58,170.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Mr. Shannon and a second by Ms. Blanks. We'll go ahead and start here with you, Mr. McMahon.
Matt, thanks for all you do. Yeah, and I think with all the rain and things that we can't control, you guys are doing your best, and it shows. So yeah, it's great to stand on top of this. So yeah, I support it.
Ms. Woods?
What he said, plus I loved the photographs, because it shows from above how neat the city is laid out, and the grass all looks, yeah, thank you.
We try.
Ms. Gurley?
Was this a significant increase in price from last year, or pretty much in line?
Really. We added a few, we expanded some of the sites. For instance, one of them's down along the road tracks along Santa Fe and Scheit. Last year, they mowed just a portion down by the fuel house where we had the new trees planted. The rest of it, we were able to mow with our big riding tractor. Since this time last year, we planted more trees down through there, so we no longer can mow that with our tractor, so we expanded that space. So there's some spaces like that, but everything, like most of them, that are pretty close to the same.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Gibb? Good. Ms. Blanks?
No questions. Thanks, Matt.
Ms. Hall?
Questions?
Mr. Reeves?
Yes, sir. Yep, and we worked through those problems.
We've had a lot of conversations.
We've had a couple.
And on the cemetery, of course, we're letting them know about being, were they the ones that had it last year?
Oh, yeah.
Was it the cemetery?
Yep.
Okay.
They've had it for like the last
They did
5.
pretty good, but toward the end of the season, they let off of it. Toward the end of the season, they let off a little bit and weren't doing too good a job of trimming right at the end of the season, so we might
Okay.
watch that a little bit.
We'll pass that information on.
Most of the season, it went pretty well up there at the cemetery. But yeah, get them straight on that creek bed back there.
We will try.
Thank you.
Anything from anyone else? Thanks, Matt. And with that, I'll ask the clerk to record the vote.
McMahon,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Blanks,
Yes.
Reeves,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Gurley,
Yes.
Kip,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Beats. And with that, that concludes our regular agenda. Now on to reports. Up first, it would be the city manager.
Just a couple things. Do want to point out, there was a comment made earlier about whether or not the fire truck or the ambulance is going to show up first. I know it's probably, both of those will probably be at the farmer's market shelter. But that is, there is going to be some work starting on, some footings going into the ground later this week, midweek, so again,
Has
that
the
is.
structure actually left the factory?
I don't know about left, but we are told that it is, I think within the next 30 days, 45 days, it should start to get shipped and then assembled. So this is kind of the first step to getting that installed, but you'll be able to certainly start to picture that a little bit better in terms of the footprint there. So exciting news. The other thing, just in the spirit of National Library Week, I think Mayor Harrington made a great point that we have a great library here in town. One that I know when my family first moved here, that was a welcomed place for my wife to go with our two boys, and have kind of continued that as I'm kind of taking a moment of a little bit of privilege that my 10-year-old was actually able to get the Peep contest of for Easter. So if you go on that, little Oliver was on there, but I just point that out that they continue to expand their programs and continue to hit all ages. That again, a little infant child like Otto, my youngest, all the way to again going from up to a 10-year-old and beyond that. There's wonderful programs at our library and a great asset that we have here in Bonner Springs. So that is all I have this evening.
Thank you. On to council items. We'll go ahead and start down there with you, Mr. Shannon.
Nothing.
Mr. Kipp.
I had the opportunity at lunch today to meet up with the Ministerial Fellowship. It used to be Alliance, and Pastor Carnes heads this ministry up. And I just want to say that they're doing a lot of work. They're trying their best. They got Bonner Builders, where they're looking and they're working with like our codes people, police department, if you will, for those citizens that live in our area that's incapable or they need help with fixing up their home or something like that, right? And so anyway, I was in the meeting today. We have a couple places we're going to go and we're going to help them out. And so we're always looking for volunteers. You know how to swing a hammer or measure or read a tape or something like a measuring tape. You know, you can always get with me or Pastor Carnes or something like that, because there is folks in our community that just can't do this and they need help, and that's what this program's for. So, or if you know someone that is needing help, right, reach out and we'll do our best to put them on the list, get things taken care of. Thank you.
Thanks.
Also, yeah, shout out to the library. If you don't follow their page or get their monthly events, it's unbelievable the amount of programs they offer for all ages from young to senior. So thank you to our library. I also wanted to thank Matt and his team. Several weeks ago, Roger, Mark, and I had a great time at the new water treatment plant and got a tour. It's quite remarkable of where we've started and where we're going with that. So thank you for taking time out of your morning. We were there for a few hours bugging him, but lots of questions. I think we were the questions team. So it was just really exciting, and we're very excited for that to launch later this year. So thank you. And then thank you to city staff for all of your work on many items on tonight's agenda. I know you guys have worked really hard with the developers to get things in motion. So thank you for all the time that you spent on doing that.
I will echo singing the praises of our library. They also bring so many public health initiatives to Bonner Springs that you don't see everywhere, as well as financial literacy programs and many, many adult programs that I think sometimes we take a little bit for granted, but they are very special, and thanks to the library for all that they do. Thank you.
Mr. Reeves?
Yeah, thank you to all our city departments, and I'm really looking forward to that water plant coming online. I've had some comments already from some people. They thought the water changed a little bit here the other day, and I said, I don't know why. Maybe the new well or something came online. but people were aware of just a little bit of a change in the water for whatever reason, so I said, the water plant's not online yet, but it's coming in August or September. And the other thing is, I missed the prayer tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves. Yes, go ahead.
I did forget something that I think is very important, and I'd like to, Chief, Larry, two of our, Chief is our police chief, and Larry's our evening officer right now, but these guys have done a great job for our city. From, you read Bonner briefs, and you see in there where they seem to be able to, everybody that drives through our town at some point seems to be, they manage to sniff out and find narcotics and drugs and a lot of things. But this is taking a lot of hard time and a lot of work on their part to represent not only what we have here, which is great, but they're doing this consistently, and I really appreciate what you, and Chief, if you pass that on to all your staff and officers, that you guys are doing really a great job, and we really appreciate it. And Chris, Fire and Ambulance Chief, thank you for all you guys are doing, because here you going out every day and stuff, and it's amazing what you do, and I don't think any of you got enough credit, and I'd like to say thank you to every one of you.
And then with that, to be the mayor's report, I want to expand on something that was listed in the mayor's report, an entry there, because a lot of things have happened. Let me give you a little backstory first. There is a lady who is a nursing supervisor. Her name is Betty Chris, that works for the UG Public Health Department. She was formerly from this city. I would know her as Betty Reeves prior to getting married. She graduated from the junior high in this building. During an illness, health crisis of my father-in-law 30 years ago, the family became friends with Miss Chris. And that led to what happened is a week and a half ago, I got an email from Miss Chris, and they have a new director of public health, started a few months ago, and brings a whole new energy and dynamics to the public health department, and really want to outreach to the community as a whole, all of Wyandotte County, not just down the urban core in KCK. I have conversations with Ms. Chris. She came out last Wednesday. I also introduced her to Mr. Peterson. We showed her some areas, possibly what they're looking at doing is wanting to possibly do a mobile satellite services out here. And they're starting with us because when he said, what kind of services can we provide the staff down there, that was one of the things they talked about was doing a mobile departments or a satellite clinic. And that's when Betty, Miss Chris, stepped up real quickly and said, I'd like to go ahead and start with Bonner because I know the mayor personally, I know his family, and I've lived out there. I'd like to start there. So with that said, things are moving very quickly. The logistics team will be out here Wednesday of this week. We've got a couple of areas identified for them in the community center, and they're hoping to start a satellite clinic out here that'll be out here 2 Thursdays every month. And you can see in the morning hours for about 3.5 hours, which will work out perfect. We'll have them located in the community center, and that then will be allows us then to use Tibolo Transit to get those that are economically disadvantaged to be able to get them to provide to access to those services they may not have been able to get to otherwise. I think tomorrow is Ms. Gillen is planning on releasing that out on social media and start the publication of it. So I just wanted to make sure everybody here was fully aware, so you didn't get caught off guard and wondered what's going on. So everybody's on the loop. So I want to thank the UG for finally, at least one of the departments, recognizing that they service a county and are bringing their services out this way. So also, on another item, real quickly, Senior projects are coming up at the second week of May. I don't know if anybody has ever volunteered to be a community representative on those. I've done it for multiple years, and it can be a very satisfying experience. It does take a little time. But if you have some time and would like to be involved at the high school with the community, I would suggest you reach out to Ms. Baker, and she can get you set up and tell you the ropes, how to participate, and you'll get to sit in a group of other members from the school as well as community.
Do you know the time on that?
Actually, she will give you an option. If they're not filled, she'll give you an option of either a morning or an afternoon times. So you can choose. But it is a very satisfying experience, so. And what,
Really learn a lot about what the
Yes.
school is doing through that, and the kids learn so much by senior projects. I know they, 30 hours, but they really learn so much, and so many of them have had their futures changed by the senior project.
yes, thank you, Ms. Wood, appreciate that. Ms. Wood has been also one of the community members that has been there, and also is a school employee as well, who has participated in these year after year, so. With that, if there's any questions for me, I would go ahead and entertain a motion for adjournment.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Reeves, a second by Mr. Shannon. We'll just do a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? The chair says we're adjourned.